Yo guys, welcome back to another Danmachi Memoria Freese video. Okay, so today's video, it was supposed to be a tier list video, but I'm finding it extremely or increasingly more difficult to try and rank assists, element assists basically. So what I decided to do was rank them within their own element. This is going to be completely opinion based. Feel free to disagree. If you do disagree, that's all well and good. Just keep it civil, keep it polite. That's how we do things. So we're starting with fire, obviously, as it is the most prevalent element in the game, regardless of what they seem to be doing with other elements like light. Is a different scenario, but so we're going to start with the fire units. Now, I will say that I am EU based, and I know at least one of these units is not on the EU server. Came out prior to EU's existence. Just making sure my microphone isn't bumping the table there. So I'll have to, when I get to them, throw up the stats and what they do on the screen, or I will go over what they do at max, because I don't know anyone that has them maxed out. Anyway, but I will throw the stats on the screen. So, start off. You will notice one thing, right? That there will be two pairings of units, and the idea is that they're supposed to go together. That's the whole point. But anyway, I digress. I will say right now, I'm gonna bring up the game on the side so you guys have a look at what we're dealing with too. One of the units, there was supposed to be like a seer that apparently has fire resistance debuff, but I couldn't find her anywhere. Like I couldn't find her details or information, her artwork or anything like that. So if I am wrong and there are more fire related assists, either debuffing enemy fire resistance or buffing allies fire damage, please let me know in the comments so I can update this tier list. I don't want to give misinformation or leave out information that people might need. So if you do have any extra information, let me know and I can update the tier list accordingly. Okay, so starting with the T. Immediately, only a double S strength stat. She is relatively, or they are relatively old. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl. I can't remember. They are relatively old, but still a double S strength stat is relatively good. Allies strength plus 15% and crit, fire, and earth damage plus 10%. I don't think that's bad. I don't think that's bad at all. Which is why, as you see on the actual tier list itself, it says S, A, B, and C. So I need you guys to understand my scaling. C is what I would consider average, okay? Not bad, not exceptionally good, but not bad, okay? So when I put T in C tier, don't be hurt, okay? Don't be hurt. 15% strength boost, average, crit rate, and elemental damage, 10%, average. Nothing exceptional about it, and the fact that they are older and they do have those lower stats means that there's no way I can put them higher than that. Moving on to the next unit, we are going to go straight to the Feistus. Now, I'm going to bring up her stats first before I make a judgment here, so you guys can follow along and have a look and see what I'm doing and what my opinions are. You, like I said, feel free to disagree with me. Like, Feistus is an amazing unit, by the way. 627 magic stat. Wow. But that's not all. She gives an additional 20% magic on top of the 627 that she gives, plus an additional 15% to elemental damage. This is exceptional. So we're going to put her up in the A tier. These are just preliminary rankings. I'm going to assess the list afterwards once I've gone over all of the units and see if I need to adjust it before I end the video. So you're just going along and seeing the process with me. The only downside to this Feistus that could prevent her from being S tier is the fact that she only helps magic units. So you can throw her in if you have her maxed out, if you need the 15% fire or water damage. So having mixed element there always is going to be beneficial too. But relegating her only and solely to one damage type, so not boosting strength and only magic, means she's more limited if you need her for that. Next, we are going to move on to, where are ya? I'm going to find him. This Apollo, right? This Apollo right here. Okay. Now, this is a welfare unit, so I did not expect amazing stats. Anyway, I mean, it's pretty much even and balanced across the board, except for the endurance, and even then, it's only S. So the stats mean it can't really sit that high anyway. But if you look at it based on its bonuses alone, Earth and Fire damage are 10%, Physical resist and Magic resist minus 10%. He's so well-rounded, even for a welfare unit, that in my opinion, he is at least a B tier. No, I said B tier. There we go. He is better than T, even with the additional, even with the standard 10% buffs, debuffs. It's just that for starting out, if you needed to free up a slot for physical resistance and you didn't have any higher than 10% anyway, he's perfect. He basically rounds out everything and frees up an assist slot on your team for you. So while we're at that, we may as well move on to his partner who came out at the same time. Where are you? I don't have you, even though I finished the banner and you were the only person I tried to summon for, or who I wanted. These stats are something else. The dex stat alone is crazy, but you add the magic, it's something else entirely. Like, it's great. Having a really high base magic attack does sort of hinder you if you want to use her on a strength-based unit, I guess, but she still works regardless. Like let's look at her strength. Her strength stat is C, so putting her on a strength-based unit would not be the way. It would not be the way at all. It would be a waste because it's a 1-for-1 ratio. So whatever stats your assist has gets directly applied to your adventurer. That so adding 213 to a strength unit when you could have much higher is a waste in my opinion. However, Earth and Fire resist and counter rate minus 15% at max. The 15%, that's going to be the new current standard anyway. So, the new current standard, it is the standard. Like, if you've got them MLB, that is great. But the thing is, having a lower counter rate as well as a lower resistance to these elements means you take more damage. It's basically saying you're going to take more damage, but you're not going to counter when we hit you. That's where we're going here, and that's great, especially in Wargame. Allies crit rate and penetration plus 10%. So much is going on here that it doesn't matter. I would say that these are standard. The crit and pen plus 10% are standard, but the elemental resistance being 15%, makes her exceptional. I would actually put her in A tier alongside her Feistus. I have to say that I value resistance debuffs over buffs anyway, because my logic is this: if you have a debuff, the debuff will go on the front line anyway. Your buff should always come in last. That way, more teammates more allies, have the buff applied to them. So, having your elemental resistance is more valuable because you can throw it out there on a sack unit. It's more important to have them because I'm not saying they're more disposable, but having them means you can apply them to a sack unit and it still benefits the entire team. So they are more valuable, in my opinion. Moving on, we are going to do the Hermes. Actually, I'm going to do the Hermes now, so we can follow along. There you are. I went past you. Okay. Look at the stats. This is another welfare unit. The A's across the board, not a single S. It's kind of sucky. At least it's an A. It could be worse. Again, we've got to look at the buffs here. Fire attack and light attack damage, plus crit rate, plus 10%. Now, this dude right here made it so that you could combine two of the strongest elements in the game. He does have a partner in crime, and there's a reason I haven't put him out there yet. We'll work on that afterwards. But I'm probably going to leave that Apollo for last, because you probably guessed where he's going anyway. But the thing is, having such a low percentage, he's the only one that does it, which makes him extremely valuable. But having only 10% buffs across being the standard, and then having such low stats because he is a welfare unit, there's no way I can put him higher than the other Apollo. So he is definitely a B tier alongside that Apollo. don't get it twisted, they're valuable because they're the only ones that do it. You need to keep that in mind. We're ranking within the element here, so it becomes exceptionally hard. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the Reindeer Hestia. Now bear with me while I bring up her information so I can figure out what she does. She does... That's not it. Okay, so she does magic and fire attack damage. Magic, fire attack damage and wind attack damage plus 15%. That is 15% across the board, so 15% for everything. That is, again, pretty good, but not as good as the Feistus, I would say. Feistus giving the 20% additional magic means that she has to drop down, like just by comparison, has to drop down to B tier because she's not as good. I am gonna throw her stats on the screen now during editing. I do have them in front of me, so I will read them out. She does have less magic at 594 magic at maximum. So yeah, she's basically just a lesser version of her Feistus with wind instead of water. And then finally we have the Apollo. Now I'm going to bring up the... Sorry, let me get back to the game here so we can look at the Apollo himself. This Apollo is amazing. He works on so many units. He has such great stats. And seeing as strength damage dealers are more prevalent than magic damage dealers anyway, having 601, a double S strength stat, on top of giving allies 15% additional strength is great. So having high base stat, high percentage modifier, and then strength, fire and light resist minus 15%. So even then, being a debuffer, a resistance debuffer, in my opinion, makes him all the more valuable. Anyway, he is definitely an S tier unit. Now, the reason I value him S tier is because all of the higher or more physical damage dealing units that are prevalent can benefit from him. So we're talking Lyde, Alice, Anya. There's so many units in this game have been like dominant in their field because of this assist, and that just makes him exceptionally valuable. It's more so than the others, even though his stats may be a little bit lower and his percentage buff might be a little bit lower. But the thing is, I do notice he is a little bit older now, like he's getting on there, and it may be time that we see another fire resistance debuff assist, but until then I have no idea when that will be. Sorry, let me just put all these screens down. And anyway, that is going to be it. These are all of the element assists, unless I missed some. If I did miss some, please, I beg you, make sure you comment down below so I can add them to this tier list and update it. I will pin the comment and everything, because misinformation is not where I'm going here. Anyway, that is going to be everything, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, you found it informative. If you did, make sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're not. Social media links will be in the description, and as always, guys, I love you, and I'll catch you later.
Feuerfolter!